encouraging early voting, but what are people up against at the polls right now? You know, there's a lot of talk about suppression and some of the challenges when you show up. Like, what are some of the detours that people might face, and how do they work their way around them?
It's real. You know, in North Carolina now, you have to show ID to go to the poll to vote. Before, in 2014, I got arrested at a protest of the voter ID bill, where we were trying to get them to overturn it or turn it away. They eventually overturned it but reinstated it. That's a big barrier for so many people in the state. Additionally, North Carolina is a significant home of a lot of the folks that were related to January 6th stuff that was happening in D.C. Right? So when we think about our hubs, our political hubs here in Durham and Raleigh, Charlotte, etc., these places are not necessarily subjected to the organized right-wing, white supremacist attacks. We're talking about Eastern North Carolina, where people like Mark Robinson and them are holding rallies right now, and this man is down by 20 points to the polls, right? But they still gather people because their intent is to intimidate and deter Black and brown people from consolidating around our political power and turn out to vote. So those are some of the things that are in the way right now.
Has anybody else on the panel have a story about that, experienced it, heard extreme stories of that? Just people being turned away or deterred, or just challenges people are having as they actually show up to vote.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now I'm so proud of this entire state for the get out the vote, for the early voting that's been happening. North Carolina is same-day registration. You can, vote early and things. But just like Josh said, the few things that is going on is that, there is people. I've seen it with my own eyes. People being taken out of the line to vote just last weekend, saying they can't vote because they didn't have an ID and things. But in the last election, you can vote, and things. But they, you have to go get a special ID from the Board of Election and all of that just to go vote. So that is some situations. But then also,
what do you advise those people to do?
We tell people to go get it. We tell people to go get it.
Go back upstairs, go back inside.
Hey, just to let y'all know, that was Mama Cookie right there, Boy City, very own Mama Cookie. So she just told all y'all, if y'all ain't got your ID, go get it. But it's that. But then also, one of the things that's not widely advertised here in this state is the restoration of rights. If you are a convicted felon, a formerly incarcerated person, you can vote. If you are a felon, you can vote. Don't let those things stop you from voting. They talk so much, there's so many things that they talk against us, but they don't tell us our rights. They tell us what we can't do, but they don't tell us what we can do. So it's not advertised, the restoration of rights. If you get out of jail and completed your sentence, you can vote. If your fines is paid up, you can vote. So they don't tell people that, but that piece right there keeps people at home because of the misinformation that goes on. That's telling people that they can't vote, telling people that there's no reason to go vote because you're a felon and that you may go to jail just for going to go vote. Those are the things that we're up against. But Boy City, we ain't gonna stop that, right?
This is for Killer Mike, Josh, Keith. You guys seem to be very well versed in politics. When you watch it, I watch TV and you see a commercial where they say Kamala's a bad person, Kamala's a bad person. You see a commercial where they say Trump's a bad person, and it feels like they're allowed to say anything to us. And even though I know who I'm voting for, and a lot of us do, what if you're lost on who's telling the truth, who's lying, what power plans affect? Where do you get that kind of information from to know what's real and what's not real in this political space?
I mean, again, I'm a hyper-local person. Part of the reason I'm proud to be in North Carolina tonight is a man named Robert F. Williams. Robert F. Williams, in the 1950s, had a problem with the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan thought they would run through North Carolina and do anything. So he petitioned the National Rifle Association, the NRA, that often gets told is your enemy, but really they're just a tool. He got a chapter, a black chapter of the NRA, certified in North Carolina, and then he wrote a book, Negroes with Guns, to let you know we will shoot back. That's a book too. And I vote because I'm concerned with all the amendments, but in particular the First and Second Amendment. I vote on a local and national level because I want to be able, and I want people even I disagree with, to be able to say and use freedom of speech at will. I also want the Second Amendment, so if my freedom of speech is deferred, I can push back. So that's why I vote. So when things come across to me that says this candidate is good or bad, you do the research. And in the age of Google, you don't have a reason not to do the research. In the age of taking your black ass to the library, you don't have a reason not to do the research. And I would suggest that people read their newspapers on a weekly basis. I would read one national paper, one local paper, and I would take my ass to city council meetings on a very local level. Stokely Carmichael, better known as Kwame Ture, said we should get a constant state of organizing. You should be in a constant state of dealing with people who are on the ground organizing, or else you don't know what's going on. I guarantee you, my grandfather was an unlearned man, but he was brilliant. My mentor was former mayor of Atlanta and U.S. Ambassador Angie, and they both told me the same thing. There's nothing that happened in politics that you don't know 20 years before. So North Carolina today is preparing for North Carolina 20 years from now. And what I would suggest you do is get educated on the individual candidates. And that's the good and the bad, because no candidate is all good or all bad. And I would like you to vote on policy and not personality. There's a lot of motherfuckers I don't like I vote for. And in Atlanta, I'm talking about Atlanta, I'm talking about now, there's a lot of us in Atlanta that I don't like this nigga, but damn, he got good policy. And because of that good policy, I'm gonna vote and work for that nigga. And after it's over, I'm gonna tell that nigga I don't like you, but goddamn, that was some good policy. So I would tell people that essentially your politicians are not athletes, they're not entertainers, they're not streamers, they're not popularity contest winners. They are policy pushers and providers of resources for your community. Treat it like that. Treat it as dry as the nurse when she talking your ass to the doctor. When I go to my doctor, my nurse say you're a little less fat. She ain't said you did it yet. She just said you're a little less fat, you get better. So I know one day when she say you got better, I'm a lot less fat. But I want people to understand that the truth doesn't always attach itself to your feelings. So if you don't like a person for a reason, that's fine. But check and see if their policy helps you. If their policy helps your community, that's who you should vote for. And if you only vote on personality, you may as well just stay in high school and vote for whoever should be prom king or prom king, because that's about all the good is going to do.
What are the standout policies for you in this election?
I just told you freedom of speech and guns.
It's an echo.
Yeah, I'm not bullshitting about it. When I say freedom of speech is under attack in America. There's a book called Rap on Trial. You should read it. It's written by Dr. Eric Nelson and a sister named Angie out of UGA. You can put up a Facebook post about not liking a politician or someone, and they can come arrest your ass for it. That's an infringement of your freedom of speech. Now, they're not going to do it to me, or Beanie, or Sam, because they know we have public support, but they will do it to you. I've seen people stand before school boards in the last few months and get drugged out by policemen and handcuffed because they're simply telling the school, I don't want my child to indulge in this book or this behavior. That's not common in America. That's the shit you hear about North Korea, China, where you can't disagree with the school board. So for me, the First Amendment will always be, can I say what the fuck I want to say when I want to say it and disagree with another American? And the second one for me, especially as an African American who lives in the South, who have seen people walk in churches and kill people, hunt down people in Brunswick, Georgia, I'm interested in keeping my AR-15. Yeah, so I am attached and allied to my sisters and my daughters and the women in my life, so I attach myself to women's rights and national law, autonomy of their own body and abortion. So the candidate that talks about that has my ear. The candidate that talks about freedom of speech has my ear. The candidate that talks about banning AR-15s may not have my ear. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want the government to feed me. I want to be able to hunt and kill my own food. So for me, I'm a nuanced voter in that on a very local level, I'm pretty sure in Georgia we're not going to get rid of guns no time soon. So that allows me to say what other things in my community matter. So for me, the things that always matter in your first and fifth. The thing I would like to see change in my lifetime is the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment gives our country an excuse for slavery, right? Because it said slavery is illegal in this country except for imprisonment. In 1984, Ronald Eagle, fuck you, I'm glad he's dead, Reagan, allowed for private prison to come in America. Since then, slavery has hit a rebound. We do the goddamn roof on slavery. So for me, when you talk about why am I voting, I'm voting for the first and second. I'm voting to get the 13th ratified. I'm voting for the fourth and fifth so I can move without policemen fucking with me. I'm voting on those Bill of Rights and those amendments that have been promised to me each and every time. And everything after that, the government can stay the fuck out of my life and I'll take care of myself.
Josh, you want to By the way, I'm trying to kill Mike, man. Kill Mike is so close, man. I love you, bro. You special, bro.
I just want to say my role model is still coming out of the carpentry as well. One of his sayings that visually is my organizing model. It's easier to lead people to revolutionary change if they participate in the system and they see that it doesn't serve them rather than they don't participate at all. Right, so one of the things that I think is critical on this particular ballot, at this time in North Carolina, is our state Supreme Court race, right? I think that, in Pennsylvania, about 10 years ago, there was an intentional effort to organize around flipping the Supreme Court in the state of Pennsylvania. That same Supreme Court in Pennsylvania blocked the redistricting, and then also was the same Supreme Court that freed me, right? You can move your Supreme Court to get them to make moves to do the things that we know we need to do, and it can block certain harmful federal legislation that is passed that's supposed to be implemented. They can actually protect. So it's this concept around block and build. I see my dear sister Serena from Blueprint, North Carolina in the audience. There's a concept of block and build that we lean on, right? To try to make sure that we can block, right, harmful legislature, block harmful elected officials and other people that are coming into place, but also simultaneously be able to build on the back end.
I think we should talk the cat. First of all, we have the whole power universe of being pretty much, which is pretty great. And I just want to give you guys an opportunity to speak to, well, first of all, today, obviously you were using your platform, you're using your voices, and we saw it work. So sometimes people don't want to open the door and they go, hey, is that Katie? What's up, door? And it really does, and that's really a beautiful way to use your platform. And so I just want to ask you guys, what is it? What are the things that matter to you? What made you want to come to this conversation and advocate for voting and to be here today?
She looking at me, she wanted me to answer that one first. Hi, y'all. Now, truthfully to me, the whole reason I wanted to come was to, just be part of the conversation, to use my platform to help encourage everybody to get out there and, do what they need to do, taking all this information that you're getting right now and, making choices accordingly, whatever that is to use, like Michael was saying, whatever policies, whatever implements that matter to you, that's where your vote should go. So that's really the reason I came out, is, support that whole thing and use my voice too.
Same for me, kind of what you said, I want to come out and just use my platform for the right things instead of, sometimes us being entertainers, we do fun stuff. Why was just fun, we have a good time, but it's time to get serious with these critics, So for me, I know how important it is for our community that we need to get out there and vote because everybody thinks one way, my vote ain't gonna matter. I used to be that person, like Gianni said, I'm like, yeah, okay, if I don't vote, what's gonna happen? Nothing don't change. But if I'm like that, there's millions of people probably looking at it too, and that's where the problem lies. And then also, I feel like in our community, people resonate more to something when the person looks like you. It'd be different if we was out there wearing suits that probably wouldn't open the damn door for none of us. You know what I'm saying? But when you knock on a stranger's door, you might not like what is on the other side of that door if they actually open it. But seeing his face, seeing her face, seeing Woody, seeing Kai, they're like, we'll actually listen to what you got to say. And to me, that's power in that, no pun intended. There's power in that for real. It's almost scary, but there's power in that. Like the fact that we can sway people to be like, okay, I actually listen to what you're talking about. The same way I hate him, but he's hilarious sometimes. That Charleston White dude, he said something that was very true. He said, hey, I was at all the meetings, wearing suits, I was doing this, I was pushing policy, I was doing that, and they wasn't listening. He said, I got on here and started talking crazy, and now everybody's listening. And I think if we could use our platform for good, then people will listen more.
Same thing. This echo is crazy. Just being a part of change and using our platform to impact others is very important to me. Like he said, we could be on TV doing all the things, but we also need to use our voice for good and also encourage people. Like for me, I don't know everything about politics, but being a part of this initiative in Philly, Atlanta, and here, I'm learning every single day from everyone on the stage. And I just want to encourage people that you don't have to know everything about politics. Get with people who do, get with people who don't, and learn together. And have different perspectives, and be open to the different perspectives. And trust me, it helps because it's been helping me, so yeah.
Oh, I thought Gianni was going to tell you that.
Is this one on? All right. I'd say personally, it's interesting. Is this working? Okay. It's interesting because me being white, a lot of white, like if you guys hadn't noticed, newsflash. No, but like a lot of white people don't listen to black issues. A lot of times if there's not a white face behind it, which is it sucks to say, but like it's really the truth, and I'm so grateful to be able to be loved and respected in the community and in the culture. So I want to use my voice to if it takes for me to have to have white people listen, then I'm here and I just want to be like a vehicle for that. So. Newsflash, Johnny
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Welcome to the company, sir, Blacc.
Come on, Willie.
Can I be honest?
Uh-oh. It's a safe space. Safe space. I mean, we are on social media, just so you know.
I never gave a damn about voting, right? Well, 2 months ago, I went on a spiritual retreat called ayahuasca. And during my journey, I remember sitting on the side, seeing all my ancestors walk up this long hill. And one of my ancestors stopped, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she touched my throat, and she said it was okay for me to speak out. She told me it was okay to use my voice. So when this opportunity came around, usually I would like, nah, I'm cool. We know what's cool, but the Magic City, I'm good. But this time I felt like that was a sign that I had to use my platform, and I had to come out here and say something. And just being in the community, somebody walked up to me and was like, Willie, bro, I seen your video when you was dancing, bro. Like, that's very, inspirational. Thank you, bro. Like, thank you. He kept thanking me, man. And I'm just so happy to be here. As soon as I got to the hotel, I called my mom, like, Mom, they love you in the hood. But normally I would never do this, but I just want to say thank y'all so much for opening up your home, to us. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, so I feel so connected.
We can still go to Magic City, Woody. We just gotta vote first, all right?
We've been speaking a lot. First of all, I just want to say that this is beautiful. It's beautiful that we all come together for an agenda, but November 5th comes and it's over, right? Now we got to deal with it. But what people have been saying a lot of is mobilize after the election. What does that look like? Like, what does it look like to mobilize after an election?
The real work starts November 6th. It'd be an incredible shame if we did all of this work went to all of these neighborhoods, did all of this just to chill and go back to regular life on November 6th, nothing is gonna happen. And then absolutely everything that we say is that, oh, our vote doesn't count or this doesn't matter. That will be true. But what happens is we have to vote and we have to vote, we have to get organized. There's this famous quote by this revolutionary Willie Baptist. Mama Cookie won't let me forget it. And it's by Willie Baptist, and he says, you only get what you organize to take. You see that USSW? You only get what you organize to take. And so in this moment, we have to organize the vote. That's not doing a one-time thing, passing out a hot dog, giving a t-shirt away or whatever, having a church service. No, this is every day. This is going out, going out into communities, standing with each other, standing for each other, standing up at the job with each other, coming together as co-workers, doing what we got to do to make sure that if we stand up and we have a voice on our jobs, and we have a voice in our communities, then our vote will have that voice. Our vote will count, but the real work, it starts on November 6th. It's when everybody goes to sleep and all phone calls stop. Are we going to stay organized? Are we going to come together? Are we going to still knock on that neighbor's door? Are we still going to make sure the kids, are playing in a safe neighborhood, that everybody is eating in our neighborhood and things? That's what people care about in our communities. And that's the real work that we got to do 365.
Thank you.
Really, man, like you, I've enjoyed Magic City myself. One of the experiences I had this summer, though, I was in the Magic City kitchen and got some amazing wings takeout, right? And on top of my takeout box was a Palestinian flag. That's a significant gesture of solidarity. The QR code on the sticker took you right back, not to a local organization, but back to the Magic City kitchen. Right, so the opportunity to get organized goes beyond. We have a lot of incredible organizations in the room. USSW, we got Black Lives Matter, we got Blueprint, all the Black S.O.U.L in the building, right? There's a lot of incredible organizations that are grounded in the political work, but the political connectivity goes into our communities as well. In the spaces that we gather, our spaces that we kick it, we chill at, they are political spaces because they exist in their arts. And so the things that we can do after the election are connecting more with our cultural spaces, connecting more with our spiritual practice spaces, and making sure we're having deep, meaningful relationships with people so that when we call them out to do a thing and take an action, it don't feel transactional, it's transformational.
I just think as we're like running out of time, it's like we have, and I know the work obviously continues after the election, but we have 3 days left to do whatever we're trying to do. How are we best served? Like, what is the best call to action for the next 3 days for all of us?
Help people get to the polls. Don't go to the polls by yourself. If your car seats 4 people, try to squeeze 5 in there. Classically, I'm going to give you this secret. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to ask you who you're voting for. But when the numbers are bigger, the Democrats tend to win. So in Atlanta, there was a man named James Orange. If you ever watched the movie S.O.U.L, the brother Omar played him. All his specialty was connecting the disconnected people. He made sure the union people knew to get people out to vote. He made sure the brothers standing in front of the liquor store, made sure people got to vote. He made sure at the church. So the biggest impact that every person in this room can have right now is remember the hey there in the clubs or pretend you're your niece or your nephew going to hookah night. Just go more than one. Make sure you're going 4 or 5 deep. If you can get 10 deep, make sure you go. But get people to the polls, and after the vote, do what these brothers said, continue to organize, plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize on a constant basis. And everything does not have to be the Super Bowl. Some stuff can be as simple as we want these potholes filled, so we're going to organize 10 to 15 people, and we're going to go to city council, and we're going to raise hell about it. The small wins give people confidence the big wins can happen. So the more you organize, especially the unions, you know, especially union. Waffle House wants to unionize. If you love Waffle House and you think they deserve it, you should be supporting them. I didn't go to pinup and I named the Blue Flame because I sent people to the Flame because as offhand politically active, they can be their men. But I didn't go to pinup for over 10 years because the girls wanted to organize a union. The club owners wouldn't let them organize, I stopped going. Because if the girls they can shake their ass and pay the DJ at the end of the night, they deserve to have a union. And it wasn't until the girls said we that. No bullshit, because my shit is across the board. If you're a teacher driving a truck, I'm gonna support you. If you're serving me waffles and sausage at 3 in the morning, you want to form a union, I'm gonna support you. If you're a girl, shake that ass on the pole, and you want to form a union, I'm gonna support you. Because unions are better for the workers, and that's what it is. So on a very local level, find something you're passionate about. Find other people that are passionate around organizing it and push the line. Because we have midterms coming up in 2 years. In 2 years, you're going to be voting for your state representatives. In 2 years after that, whoever gets elected in presidency, you'll be, going for elections again. So I just want to say on a very small level, require that the people who rule over us, require that these politicians give you some small victories. Because the people you're organizing deserve that. They deserve to know that mail and garbage are going to be dropped off and picked up on time. They deserve to have streets. They deserve to have street lights. They deserve to make sure the money don't just go uptown, but it trickles downtown. Whatever your local issues are, organizing people around it and fight like hell to make it happen.
What about locally? Can you add, like, in the next 3 days? How can we support you? How can people watching support? Like, what can the next 3 days look like? What's important?
So early voting is today, and election day on Tuesday. Between now and then, I think it's really important for us to witness. I think that what's happening in this particular political moment is so significant to the emotional connection and community that we have as people in the state of North Carolina in particular. We lost 1 million people to COVID a few years ago, and our capitalist system has to get back to work. Right? I think what we can do in the next 3 days is we can move through to prepare for the chaos that will be election day, because there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be facing chaos. Over the next 3 days, touch somebody. Connect with somebody, be in community with somebody, with multiple people, connect with organizations, right? Because it is going to be critical that we touch and feel our heartbeats so we know what we're fighting to get to. Liberation and voting, that is not the goal. The goal is a better quality of life, right? And that means that we gotta heal. And Princess Hemphill just said it in a new book. She said, in order to heal, everything's gotta change.
Yeah, just to add to that, I'm just incredibly proud of all of the early voting turnout that's been went on so far in the state. It's incredible. So really serious about this election. And just like I said, let's tell somebody, yo, there's so many church vans down here. Let's start them up. Let's fill them up. We can fill them up to go to church on Sunday. Let's take them on Tuesday. Let's take that same Sunday energy and fill up these church vans on Tuesday. Yo, we got organizations out here that got buses and vans, union vans and all of this. Let's get our unions out, our organizations out. This is what we gotta do. We gotta vote as a unit. We gotta vote as a city, as a block, and that's the way people gonna put respect on our hood is if we get these votes out. So everybody in the neighborhood that you're chilling with, that you have to park with, that you maybe even rolling out with, roll on up to the voting location. That's what you do.
Yeah. That's how we end it. We do have to wrap up. Thank you so much for your time today. I don't know if anybody has the last word, anything you want to get out before we go?
I would just say, find an organization to join, and if you can't find one, start one. That's it. Find one to start, and if you can't find one, start one. Organize, 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 organize.
Thank you,